nationalism in the sense of doctrines which frame international politics as a zero-sum game, and policies which seek to advance one's own national interests at the expense of others, is in the ascendant. Insofar as the UN is the subject of discussion in the global media, it tends to be represented, implicitly or explicitly, as an autonomous actor. In most contexts, that's misleading. The UN was created 75 years ago essentially as an instrument, something that the peoples of the world, represented by their separate sovereign states, could use to achieve the purposes set out so eloquently in the preamble to the Charter. Perhaps, therefore, the right question to ask after 75 years is not what the UN has achieved in itself or by itself, but how useful it has been to those who genuinely wanted to use it to further its stated purposes. The problem is not that the UN is being elbowed aside by alternative structures, but that too many national leaders, including most crucially in the last 4 years, the leader of the country that did most to create the UN and hitherto had always played a leading role in it, however much that was sometimes resented by other member states, these leaders seem no longer to see international cooperation, except in a purely ad hoc form, as either necessary or desirable. In this, they are not representative of their peoples, since global public opinion continues, according to reliable polling data, to stress the need for international cooperation and to call for strengthening the UN rather than weakening or dismantling it.
And we conjectured many possible future UNs. I don't remember, however, a single moment where we conjectured that the UN might cease to exist. Well, the UN is now almost twice as old as it was at that moment in 1985. Some of the animosities and hostilities and impediments of those days have dissolved. We live in a vastly more globalized, interconnected, mutually dependent world. And yet, right now, I fear for the existence of the United Nations organization in a way that I have never done before. Because this is also becoming a xenophobic, nationalistic world in which senior political figures, as Edward has mentioned, not to mention non-state actors, in many of the UN's member states, are openly questioning the value of multilateralism and rejecting the global cooperation that the UN embodies. Some nations express their hostility and contempt for the UN by declining to pay their contributions to the UN budget. The UN, of course, is its member states. If they walk away, then the organization will fail. And if the UN fails, there's nothing to replace it because there's nothing like it. The UN is the only truly global forum we have. And I believe that we will always need a global forum if we are to resolve international differences. And I believe that there will be plenty of future international differences to resolve.